Shoprite was founded in 1979 and its operating subsidiaries include Shoprite, Checkers, House&Home, OK Furniture's CompuTicket, Hungry Lion and a pharmacy chain MediRite. It has a market cap of 103 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 30 and a dividend yield of 1.7%. We spoke on Shoprite a few weeks ago.
Yes.
You know, it's the first move advantage in terms of into the African continent, but let's just talk on that MediRite pharmacy.
Look, it's South Africa's preeminent and most successful retail business. It's past the 100 billion market capitalization, which puts it, first amongst a really hot group of performers too. So it has lots of different divisions. The main thing, of course, is their grocery business. They were first in terms of distribution centers, and they were first also in terms of building branches outside of the traditional South African market. So doing well, firing on all cylinders, much beloved by the market, much beloved by foreign investors as well. The MediRite thing is interesting. So what they did is they took some of their bigger, Checkers and hypermarkets and Shoprites, and they put pharmacies in the back. They don't really, as far as I can tell, see that as a major profit spinner. They just see it as a place where you pull people in. One interesting fact, though, is that because they've got such an extensive store network and because they've got reasonably efficient electronic payment systems, quite a lot of the medical aides are quite keen to do deals with them whereby they say you can only get your medicine. I'm talking about the sort of low-end medical aides where they give you all sorts of rules. You have to go and get your drugs at the Shoprite, and then they do a deal with Shoprite in terms of which the payment flows and so on to take the efficiency. So I think that sort of thing is quite a competitive advantage for the MediRite list of pharmacies.
Do you see this as a competitive advantage for them, that whole MediRite pharmacies?
I do, and there are certain other advantages. I mean, for example, you can go in there and before you start your big shop, you hand your prescription in, and by the time you've finished, presto, it's waiting for you. So, you take a lot of the hassle factor out of waiting for a prescription. Again, I think it comes back to Whitey Bisson's very, very innovative way of doing things. A few years ago, he referred to this as being a hole in the wall, and it's an awful lot more than just a hole in the wall. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but I think it's in about 130 of their stores now. So, I think over time, it will become a useful adjunct without ever getting really to be a huge part of the business.
So share price also doing quite well, Paul, at these levels. Would you be getting in? What would you be doing at Shoprite?
I think so. Look, I mean, we know that one of the reasons why the foreigners like our retailers is A, they're well managed. B, they've got real strength in terms of first generation distribution systems, in terms of purchasing, procurement, and also routing and supply. And finally, because they are poised to go into a much bigger market, which is the rest of the African continent. We know Shoprite's been battling to get good sites in places like Lagos and so on, and Ghana and so on and forth, but they've now succeeded in large part in doing that. So the opportunity now for them to continue to grow. So I'm confident that if we go forward 10 years, we'll find this group has become either part of something larger or is one of the larger retail, sort of presences in Africa. Obviously, Walmart, Massmart are there, so there's not going to be, open sailing. But I still think people are always trying to say, oh no, this thing's too expensive and so on. But I think the earnings will come through to justify these levels.
So you're hot or not on it, Chris?
Yeah, just following from what Paul said, the trading update came out the other day, and you saw what's happening in the rest of Africa because of the weaker rand. Huge improvement there. No, look, I have to admit, we do this, we hold this on behalf of our clients, and I've loved holding it for many years, and have no intention of lightening in this one. It's hot.
Paul?
Hot for me too.
2 hots on Shop.